Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well through the scriptures, peace to the hopeful elect. The title on screen says The World Drunken Off the Beast. In parentheses, it says papacy, which is talking about the Pope and Catholicism or whatever. From GMS Upon Precepts. And this was a great video, edifying video. So you come across mine, I would definitely look at this one. But I just want to basically add my 2 cents to what Pope Francis said. And I'll play it so you can hear the brother say it. So with that being said, I'm going to grab this scripture. It's 1 John chapter 3, verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committed sin is of the devil. What is sin? All right. Sin is a transgression of the law. All right, let me get that real quick. Because that's the definition of sin. All right. 1 John 3 and 4. It said, whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So that's what sin is. It is the breaking of the law that the Lord gave the Israelites to follow. All right, that's what sin is. When Yahweh Shai, whom the word ignorantly calls Jesus, died on the cross, he didn't die so people can sin willfully and just basically tell him sorry, every Sunday and continue within their wickedness. No. All right. So 1 John 3 and it was in the same chapter. Verse 8, 1 John 3 and 8. He that committed sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever, right, the works of the devil is what you see going on right now. All right. The Pope declaring that, let me read that title again. Pope Francis calls for civil union laws for same-sex couples. They are children of God and have a right to a family. Well, that's against the scriptures. The scripture says what? Leviticus 18 and 22. It says, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. So a man does not lie down sexually with a man. All right, that's not supposed to happen. It's an abomination. Verse 23, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself. So you don't lie down with a beast sexually. That is abomination. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. So you can't condemn one without the other. You can't say, okay, well, bestiality is wrong. And then on one hand say homosexuality is okay. Because here in the same chapter, the Bible condemned them both. Yet the Pope appears to be a man of the cloth, supposed to uphold the things that the scripture says. All right. So back in 1 John 3, it says, verse 9. I'll read 8 again. He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Right. So this present world got to be destroyed. All right, because it's full of the works of the devil. All right, whether it be how people live day to day. All right, with the taxes, the money getting taken out of your check, you subject to payments, you financial slaves. All right, being psychologically attacked. All right, subliminally, subliminal things on TV to attack your mind, to make you think certain things is okay and normal when in actuality is not. Verse 9, whosoever is born of the Most High doeth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of the Most High. In this, the children of God are manifest. Now, so this how you know manifest being made known. This how you know who the children of God is. And the children of the devil. So you know both. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. And righteousness is with the Lord, and it comes from the Lord, and it's with him forever. And the scripture says the law is righteous. All right? So if you breaking the law and you influencing others to do so, then you wicked. All right? What's the word I'm looking for? What is that scripture? It's like, okay, I got it. Romans. It's scripture in Romans. Pardon me. This is Romans chapter 1. Read towards the end. It says, 26, for this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. Vile basically means disgusting. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. All right, so what is the natural use of a woman? To be with the man and to bring forth children. All right, that's what nature intends. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another. Men with men, working that which is unseemly. Is something unseemly. It's as if to say it's ugly, in a sense. Matter of fact, let's get it in the Greek. What is that? Romans. See what they got for unseemly. 1:27. Unseemly. Shame. Working that which is shameful, basically. That which is unseemly, shame. Working that which is shameful. Right. That's why you had a notion such as in the closet back in the day, because people were shamed. All right. It says, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. So there's a punishment for that. That's why the scripture says, and receiving in themselves that recompense is punishment of their error. And the error is the act that they was committing, which was meat, meaning they deserved the punishment given for those acts. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, because there's no convenience in it. There's no, you don't forward, nothing is forwarded because of it. All right, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, Right. They tried to. There was a petition to remove the verses out of the Bible that condemned homosexual acts. All right. There was even something too long ago about the LGBT community taking God to court. All right, over things of that. Despiteful, proud boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So it ain't enough for you to just do it, but it got to be projected upon everyone. You got to project these notions upon everybody. You and the people like you that's involved, that's just not enough. All right. And we read Romans, the first chapter. We read First John, the third chapter. These are all in the New Testament. So you can't use the whole Old Testament, New Testament argument, which in all actuality is not an argument. But you can't use that because I brought out scriptures proving the point in the New Testament, combined with the Old. So now the only leg that you can stand on is just wickedness. This is what you people want. This is what you people just want to do. Now, this is an article. It says the inescapable link between homosexuality and pedophilia. All right. All right. A study commissioned by the German Bishops' Conference and published last year found that more than 3,600 children were sexually abused by Catholic clergy in Germany between 1946 and 2014. All right. Cardinal Brand Muller was a bit too quick to deflect blame from the Catholic Church itself by blaming the whole problem on homosexuality. But they invented this scandal when it began allowing homosexuals to enter its seminaries in the 1960s. They did so because of the difficulty of recruiting young men into the priesthood who quite naturally wanted to marry and have families. Wow. So they recruited homosexuals. Okay? They recruited homosexuals because there weren't a lot of people wanted to go into the priesthood. Huh? Because you don't have to be a virgin to be a priest. All right. Where did they get that from? That's not in the scriptures. Aaron had a wife and children. And the sons of Aaron had wives and children. The Levites were priests that had wives and children. Now, the scripture speaks about the high priest was to marry a virgin, but let me get another scripture. This is 1 Timothy 4:1. Now, the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Now, the word devil means deceiver, and doctrine is basically teachings. And a lot of teachings that come from the majority of the teachings that's come from the Catholic Church and have been spewing from the Pope are teachings of deceit, because the scripture doesn't add up with that. All right, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidden to marry. All right, the scripture didn't do that. Paul said, if you burn and then marry, I will have you be as I am, because Paul wasn't married. Basically saying he will have the men be unmarried so that they can be more profitable in the service of the Most High. But if they desire a woman, then all right, there's no law against having a woman. So who are they to say that a priest can't have a wife? That ain't where that come from. Forbidden to marry and command thee to abstain from meats. Right. Then they got little different lawful things that they don't eat and whatever. I don't know if it's what Lent. They go a week without meat or something like that. Now that's okay if you want to do a personal fast, but that's not a doctrine that you teach that somebody gotta have to do and have to obey. All right, which the Most High have created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. Okay. So let's see back in this article. It says, as more and more homosexuals flooded seminaries and they went into priesthood, a culture of homosexuality was fostered in the church with all its attendant pathologies. One pathology that LGBT activists will not acknowledge is the unmistakable connection between homosexuality and pedophilia. The American Professional Society on the Abuse of Children stated flatly that the vast majority of the offenders are male. All right. The Journal of Sex and Marriage Therapy, in a study of male sex offenders against children, found that 1/3 of the offenders directed their sexual activity against males. And the Journal of Sex Research found that homosexual pedophiles commit about 1/3 of the total number of sex offenses against children. This fact is particularly disturbing. Homosexuals comprise just 2% of the population, yet are responsible for 33% of all child sexual abuse. They offend against children at 16 times the rate of the normal population. The Archives of Sexual Behavior, in a study of 229 convicted child molesters, found that 86% of offenders against males describe themselves as homosexual or bisexuals. Thus, it comes as no surprise to discover that research into the priesthood scandal in the Catholic Church reveals that 81% of the victims of clergy abuse are young boys, and also they abuse the girls too, even in those nunneries or those Catholic schools for girls. Those nuns, there's cases of sexual abuse of women on girl as well. All right. Look at this. The Catholic Church is also taking the first tentative steps to allow married priests. An unmarried priesthood is a practice that dates only from the 14th century and does not go back to the beginning of the Catholic Church. There's nothing biblical or apostolic about it. Right, so all right. Pardon me. Let me see. Just pardon me one second. Okay, I'll read a couple scriptures to make a point. This is Deuteronomy 13:5. It says, "And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy power commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee." All right. Key word, so shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. Okay. It says, and the Deuteronomy 17:12, and the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before Yahweh thy power, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put evil away from Israel. All right, meaning like when someone commit an act against the Lord or by trespassing the law, all right, there were judgments and there were punishments, all right, that you may put evil away before you, and so that all may fear. Okay? Let's get that. It says 1 Timothy 5:20, them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear. Right. So you do something wrong, you get punished for it. Other people will know about the punishment. They will see the punishment, and they will take it upon themselves to know that, like, nope, I'm not doing that, because that brings punishment. Okay. Even so, you have 2 Peter 2:6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after shall live ungodly. Right. So you look at the record of what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, and you say, nope, I'm not going to do that, because doing that brings fire, death, destruction, pain. But because that has not been happening, like the scripture speaks about, the law is slacked and judgment don't go forth. Iniquity has been abounding. Okay? Iniquity has been abounding. This is Matthew 24:12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Iniquity is unrighteousness, sin. All right. So if unrighteousness and sin has been abounding, plethino, to increase, to multiply, now we have transitioned all the way from homosexuality. Homosexuality has progressed all the way to pedophilia, with all the other alities in between, transgenderism, non-binaryism, polyamorous, and all the other sexual immoralities in between. Is done ranged from homosexuality all the way to pedophilia, because iniquity has been abounding. All right. So this is 2 Peter 3, and so now you got all this going on, and what does Joe Biden think about that? All right, what does Trump think about that? You got so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans scrambling to vote, but unrighteousness is still propagated throughout the earth, regardless whichever one may or may not give you reparations, or want to give you reparations, or give you the lie of equality. You still surrounded by wickedness. But anyway, 2 Peter 3:11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Because all these things going to be dissolved. It's going to be burned up. The elements shall be burned with fervent heat. All right. So knowing that that's the outcome, how should our conduct be? Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth. Right, we looking for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. So with that, when righteous 360 all the way around. All right. So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. Call Halayim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakodash. Shalom wa